In this first tutorial we're going to create the simplest part on the scooter, which is the yellow polyurethane tyre at the front. The tyre itself is very simple, and there are two approaches to modelling this part. First of all, in the top left corner of Inventor, choose the application button, choose New, and under the Metric tab select Standard Millimetre IPT part and select Create. We are now modelling a new part. From the top ribbon we're going to choose Create 2D Sketch, which has a shortcut of the letter S from the keyboard, and in the appearing datum planes we're going to choose the XZ datum plane. Select it and we move into a very quick 2D view. From the top ribbon we now have a range of 2D drawing tools. We're going to select the circle tool and we're going to snap to the central dot. This will appear as a green dot. We're going to click out and enter a value of 110mm and hit enter on the keyboard. When we resize with the navigation box in the top right, we can now see we have the outside circle of the wheel. We're going to use the same circle tool again, click to the center, this time dragging out and entering a dimension of 70mm, and again hitting enter in the keyboard. We now have two concentric circles lined up to the central point, and they're in blue because they're both constrained and dimensioned and ready to work with. Right click and choose Finish 2D Sketch. Using the navigation box we're going to resize, and we now have this donut shape. What we're now going to do is extrude this shape. We choose from the ribbon above either extrude, or we clicked the letter E on the keyboard, and we're going to choose to select the profile from the pop-up box. We're going to choose the external ring, which is now shaded in grey, and we're going to extrude this 24mm by entering this into the pop-up box and selecting OK. We now have extruded a solid donut shape. We're now going to apply a fillet to the edges to create a round, so we can do this from the fillet tool in the ribbon or using the shortcut key F from the keyboard. We're going to enter a radius of 12mm, and then clicking into the model we're going to click the top edge and the bottom edge, and we can now see a preview of the fillet that we've applied. We're happy with this, so we click OK, and we've now finished the wheel. The second approach is slightly different. In this approach, create a new file, Standard Millimetre IPT part, and again create a 2D sketch using the Create 2D Sketch button from the ribbon. Again select the XZ datum plane, and this time what we're going to do is we're going to choose the rectangle tool from the ribbon instead. This time, from the central dot, moving to the right, we're going to draw a rectangle. This rectangle will be spun around a central axis here and will give us our solid donut shape. Right click and click OK just to lose the rectangle tool. The rectangle itself is now green. In the previous attempt we had blue line work which showed that it was both dimensioned and constrained. This is neither dimensioned nor constrained, so we need to do these things now. First of all we're going to constrain. In the ribbon above we're going to choose from the constraints the option to apply a horizontal constraint. The middle of this line of the rectangle, if we click, is going to line up horizontally to this central point here, which has now been applied. What this means is that if we change this rectangle dimension, it will always lie centrally along this line. We're now going to use the dimension tool from the ribbon, and we're going to dimension this internal edge. So we're going to click once, drag out, click a second time, and we're going to enter a dimension of 24mm and hit enter. Using the navigation box, just resize to see what we're looking at. We're now going to set the distance of this central internal line to the middle. So click once, drag to the left, click the central point, and then drag down. We're going to enter a measurement of 35mm. This will give us a total diameter of 70mm. We're then going to click the external edge, drag to the left, click the central point, and drag down, and this time enter a measurement of 55mm and hit enter. This will give us an external measurement of 110mm, and this internal height will be 20mm. Right click and choose Finish 2D Sketch. Our task is now to spin this rectangle around a central axis. To do this, we're going to choose Revolve, or choose the shortcut R from the keyboard. The profile has already picked up and is highlighted in blue. So what we need to do now is find the axes. If we choose the Axes tool from the pop-up and look under the Origin tab on the left hand side, we can see an X, a Y and a Z axis. In this instance, the Z axis will give me something useful to rotate my drawing around. So we're going to click the Z axis, and as you can see in the preview, it now rotates around and gives me my donut shape. Click OK. We're then going to apply the fillet with the shortcut F, enter in a radius of 12mm again, and again choose the top edge and the bottom edge, and as you can see from the preview, we have filleted the final shape. So two modelling approaches, both very different, but both with the same outcome.